Here we are going to discuss about the structure and development of microsporangium. As we had already known about the angiospermic flowers, the flowers are the main reproductive structures that are present in the angiosperms. And as we know that the flower contains essential organs and the non-essential organs. Particularly when we talk about the essential organs, there are two essential organs are there. One is called as andrecium and the second one is called as gynoecium. So today we are going to discuss about the male reproductive structures in the angiospermic flower, that is called as andrecium first, and after completing all the characters related to andrecium, let us go into the gynoecium part. Okay, let's first come to the andrecium. So in andrecium, there are many units are present, and each and every unit of andrecium is called as stamen. Otherwise, stamen is also called as a microsporophyll. So phyll means leaf, and the leaf-like structure which is containing the microspores. So as we know that microspores are otherwise called as pollen grains. The pollen grain containing leaf-like structures, that's why we call them as a microsporophylls. And many stamens may be there, but it is not compulsory that each and every andrecium of a flower should contain many stamens. The number of stamens may be range, that is they may vary in the number. And when it comes to the length of the stamens, so in majority of the plants the length of all the stamens will be equal, but there are few cases where the length of stamens may be varying within the same flower and within the same species also. In this heading, the first part is the structure of stamens. Okay, each and every stamen is a modified leaf which contains two parts. Each and every stamen contains two parts. One is called as a filament and second part is called as anther. Okay, if you see the diagram of the stamen, we can see two parts here, and this is a thalamus we can consider. So this is a pedicel of the flower, thalamus, and this is the total part we consider it as a stamen. In this, the basal part is called as a filament, and the filament is a long elongated structure which is considered to be the proximal part. So proximal means which is near to the thalamus or which is near to the attachment region, and whereas the upper part is called as anther, which is a knob-like structure and a little bit more swollen when compared to the filament, or we can say filament is the part which is connecting the anther to the thalamus. And let's come to the structure of these other parts related to the stamen. So these are the basically two parts we can say, and one more part is also there. Some they consider to be the third part, that is called as a connective. So connective is a special structure which is helping in attachment of the filament to the anther. So how does this connective is present and how it is helping in attachment of this filament to the anther, and also the parts of the anthers are also being connected with the help of the connective tissue. So let's see where this connective tissue is present and how it is helping in attachment. So if you observe in this diagram, we can see two parts in the anther, and in between the two parts we can see the presence of a longitudinal groove-like structure which is present along the length of the anther. This longitudinal groove-like structure is called as connective, and this is generally made up of sterile connective tissue, or which is nothing but a parenchymatous tissue, which is not only helping in attachment of filament to the anther but also helping in attachment of the lobes of the anther. So we consider each of them as a anther lobe. And here we have to know something about the anthers where stamens where either it may contains one anther lobe or the two anther lobes. Based on that one, anthers are of two types. One is called as dithecous and monothecous anthers. Dithecous anthers are those, the anther which contains two lobes, or we consider two anther lobes are present, that is called as dithecous anthers, and which is considered to be the most common type in the angiospermic plants. Whereas in the monothecous condition, here only one anther lobe is present like this. So this is a filament and this is an anther. So this anther contains only one anther lobe. So we consider that as a monothecous anthers. And in this, so this is very rarely seen. So this can be seen in members of Malvaceae family. The best example of this Malvaceae family where we can see the monothecous anthers is hibiscus, that is China rose plant. So these are the two conditions where we can see two anther lobes in one anther and one anther lobe in one anther. So based on this we can say them as dithecous anthers and the monothecous anthers. Okay, in the dithecous anthers, so as I said, the two anther lobes are there. Both these anther lobes are connected with the help of the connective tissue, whereas in the monothecous anthers there is no connective tissue between the anther lobes. Why? Because that anther contains only one anther lobe. So there is no connective tissue between the the part which is attaching to the anther lobes. Okay, in the anthers we have seen two conditions. One is dithecous and monothecous, but there are some exceptional cases are there where one anther contains only one microsporangium, and there are some cases where one anther lobe contains only one microsporangium. So these are the two exceptional cases where we can see that one anther contains only one microsporangium and one anther lobe of the anther will contains one microsporangium. So if this is a second, if you observe the second condition where anther will contains two anther lobes and each of the anther lobe contain only one microsporangium. So total number of microsporangiums in this condition is two anther lobes in one anther, but here the entire anther contains only one microsporangium. So these are some exceptional cases that we can see apart from the dithecous and the monothecous conditions.